I previously told you about the interesting border between Croatia and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, it is time to embark on a journey to this region once again, because I will share an extraordinary story. What would you think if I told you that there is an unrecognized territory between Serbia and Croatia, not officially recognized as a country, but not under the control of either of these two countries? Yes, this place is called the terra nullius, a no man's land. However, contrary to what you might think, it is currently the only piece of land in the world that has not been claimed by any modern nation. The largest uninhabited territory is the Marie Byrd Land in Antarctica. It is not particularly surprising when you consider that it's surrounded by ice, and therefore nobody lives there or wants to live there. Whether the situation will change in the next 100 years is a topic for another video, so let's now go to the lands that will warm our hearts. In Africa, there is a deserted piece of land nestled in the depths of the Sahara Desert between Egypt and Sudan, and interestingly, neither country nor any other state wants this territory. Theoretically, you could even claim this land yourself. How interesting, isn't it? However, diplomatic processes will certainly be exhausting. But now, let's move on to the smaller but perhaps the most interesting of the lands I mentioned before, because this place is located right in the center of Europe. You might wonder how there could be an unclaimed lands in Europe. Well, squeezed between Croatia and Serbia, right next to the Danube River, there's a small piece of land that everyone overlooks. It is even bigger than microstates like Monaco and Vatican City, which I have covered in previous videos. As we talk about the size, let me tell you where this place is located. This geography, which no one claims and is not recognized by any member country of the United Nations, is known as Liberland, and currently it remains unclaimed by any sovereign nation in the world. As I mentioned earlier, theoretically, you can claim these lands and establish a brand new country on the territory. So if it's so easy, why aren't other countries doing it? To understand that, we need to understand history. If we go back to the 19th century, at that time this region and even the surrounding areas were under the control of the Habsburg and later the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Croats lived on one side of the Danube River and Serbs on the other side. However, these two nations were not independent and were subject to the Austro-Hungarian government, just as they were once under the Ottomans. Anyway, these borders were merely natural boundaries that followed the flow of the Danube River, but the investments made in this area turned the Danube into a port that also contributed to the economy. These investments unwittingly create a territorial dispute between Croatia and Serbia, which will become the countries of the future. After the collapse of Austria-Hungary following World War I, Croats and Serbs found themselves within the borders of Yugoslavia, which would eventually collapse in the 1990s. After centuries of being part of the Ottoman Empire, Habsburg monarchy, Austria-Hungary and Yugoslavia, Croats and Serbs became independent countries. Of course, independence also allowed these countries to pursue their own interests. While the Danube River was part of the same country, it was not particularly important to these two nations because they did not have control over it. However, after both became independent countries, the strategic importance of the Danube became more visible. Now let me explain things without further complicating them. The river serves as a natural border separating these two countries. However, while both Croats and Serbs claims right in 11 different areas on the Serbian side of the Danube, neither country claims right in the area called Siga, which lies on the Croatian border. Therefore, although Siga could be considered an independent territory, Liberland, which accepts Siga, is not recognized by any country or the United Nations. Logically speaking, since this piece of land that nobody claims is on the Croatian side of the river, it theoretically belongs entirely to Croatia. Consequently, Serbia insists that the modern border between them and Croatia is still the Danube River itself, while Croatia insists that this is not valid. It has been over a century since the determination of the course of the Danube River as a border. Croatia does not accept it as it was drawn, just like in the 19th century, without considering factors such as the river's flow or the possibility of water receding. So, why doesn't anyone claim the land called Siga or Liberland? It is a truly complicated situation. These lands host a country that no surrounding country accepts. Even the founder of Liberland is Czech. Isn't that interesting? The country's borders were established to avoid any contradictions with Serbia, Croatia, or any other country. In fact, the Serbian side has even stated the new state is not being created on the territory of the Republic of Serbia. Furthermore, let me clarify that Liberland even offers citizenship online. For those who might think, who wouldn't want to be a European citizen, right? There are a few things to consider. Firstly, there is no officially recognized country to address, and there is no infrastructure in the country. The land where the country exists is directly located on the floodplain. In fact, the western part of the Danube River within Liberland is considered international waters. If significant investments similar to those made to counter the flood threats in the Netherlands were made, maybe one day this place could truly become an independent microstate. However, at present, the entire area I have described is under siege by the Croatian military. If you guys want to live there or claim your rights, I'm not gonna be part of this, because there's a risk of being arrested. Croatian authorities have frequently blocked accesses to the area since the beginning of May 2015. Even the founder of Liberland, Jedlica, and his interpreter were briefly detained by the Croatian police after attempting to cross the border. Many journalists who entered the area have also been arrested and prosecuted. However, interestingly enough, more than 600,000 people have applied online to become citizens of Liberland in the future. But yes, Liberland aims to become the third smallest United Nations member state after Monaco and Vatican City. But whether this is possible, I truly cannot say. Jedlica visited Somaliland, which declared independence from Somalia, but is not recognized as a separate republic, and even discussed mutual recognition with them. Moreover, a few micronations that believe recognizing Liberland will be to their advantage have expressed support for the idea. The Northern Stone Kingdom and the Principality of Sealand, both of which claim sovereignty over the Byrd Vale region on the border of the Egypt and Sudan, have stated their support for Liberland. We will have to wait and see what this man can accomplish in the future. However, simply put, this extraordinary country is not recognized by the surrounding countries. The Egyptian government has even warned people abroad about this possibility of fraud regarding Liberland. So in conclusion, while no country claims right to this land in the heart of Europe, some are trying to establish their own country. Well, I think that's enough for today. Thank you for watching the video up to this point. I'm waiting for your support on the path to the 1000 subscribers. Thank you for watching the video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video, and take care of yourself.